Hello and welcome to the latest in the series of our lockdown stories. This is a series of short videos in which I am interviewing a selection of our Kingston Liberal Synagogue members about their life as a KLS member and their experience over the last few months during lockdown. And today I'm really glad to welcome Phil Lyons. Hi Phil, how are you? I think we're going to just jump straight in. So Phil, can you start off by please telling us a little bit about your background as a KLS member?
Well, tragically, in 1984, which is before you were born, we went to KLS, and because our eldest son Malcolm did his Kabbalat Torah there. And we were the classic people, dropped him off. We used to then go to the Charrington Bowl, do 10-pin bowling, have a cup of coffee, come back and pick him up at the end. And when he finished his Kabbalat Torah, we stopped going and didn't have any involvement at all, or virtually no involvement. So we were guilty as charged. And it was my loss, not KLS's loss. We then, Sandy and I went back to the LJS in St John's Wood, Liberal Jewish Synagogue at St John's Wood, where I'd met Sandra all those years ago, got married 56 years ago. So there's a lot of history there. And we used KLS really because it was closer to where we lived for Malcolm. And dragging a teenager to synagogue on a Saturday morning or whatever was hell in any circumstances, so close. We came back to KLS about 3 or 4 years ago. A very sweet lady called Beryl Riddell died, and she was a KLS member, and she lived in Ashted, where I live in Ashted in Surrey, which is near Leatherhead and Epsom. And we went to her funeral, and there was Jenny, and somebody else's name I've forgotten. And they snaffled us, spoke, got us to come along. So my renewed membership really is genuinely all the fault of Jenny Osario. Blame her entirely. And somebody else, sorry, it's gone. I can't remember. I think it might have been Sandra. Because, you know, she hit me with a handbag and said, "You're going to do this," you know, Sandra. So that's it really. And we've got so involved. We love it. We love the community, love the people, love the atmosphere. One of the reasons I did leave LJS was to get rid of some strange French rabbi who was there. And the bugger came and followed me.
You are, of course, talking about Rabbi Renai, our rabbi.
Oh, is that the chap? Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, lovely piece of humanity. Beautiful man.
Yeah. I agree completely. And you've been attending the Exploring Judaism classes, haven't you?
Because I was brought up as a secular Jew. I was born Jewish. I had a bar mitzvah, did my little portion, bits and pieces, went back, had a nice party and lots of presents and money and things like that. And that was the end of Judaism as far as I'm concerned. And it was in the United Synagogue in Richmond. I didn't understand any of it. I didn't enjoy it. It was totally alien to understand it. And when I was about 20 years of age, and I lived in a place called East Sheen, which was between Richmond and Hammersmith, I went to this place in St John's Wood, and I quite liked it. And I started going there intermittently, got to know the people, got involved with David Goldberg in a big way. Lovely synagogue, beautiful atmosphere. A degree of serenity about it, but because I lived so far away, there was no social contact. I was a South Londoner, and I didn't have. And Sandy and I then tried this place out and fell in love.
Fantastic.
It's got something special. It really, I'm 80-something years of age, and KLS has got something unique.
Absolutely.
weird to say, but there you go. This community, it's the word community all the time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's been coming across so strongly in the interviews I've been doing. Can you just tell us, Phil, a little bit about your situation during the lockdown? How have you been spending your time?
Well, I very reluctantly retired a few years ago, about 6-7 years ago. I spent the time easing down and then retired as an independent financial advisor, and I still miss it. It's working. But so I was actually preparing myself for lockdown because, you know, if I'd been working, life would have been different. But I hadn't lost that skill then, or the ability. And very nicely, the Inland Revenue sent me some money in January, which I wasn't expecting. And I bought a reasonably good, topped up my hi-fi system.
Oh.
And as you know, I'm technologically the blindest, deafest, useless person in the world, but I've got a Cubos or something on my little Kindle, and I can play virtually any music in the world.
Yeah.
And I've got a great sound system, and I've been listening to music that I've never heard of before, composers I've never heard of before, by the gazillions, and I type the names in I want to listen to on my Kindle, and I get the spelling wrong, and out comes another composer. I listen to a squirt of that and think that's great, or that's horrible, or whatever. And I've had fascinating evenings and rainy days doing that. It's absolutely brilliant. My box making, read lots of books, I make wooden boxes, you know that, of course, and things, and read a lot, devoured books. For my 80th birthday, I got a lot of book tokens, and before the lockdown, I went to Waterstones and bought a whole load of books, which I wouldn't have done. Great experience, an hour and a half buying books with somebody else's money, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I got occupied, drive Sandra mad, of course.
Of course. It actually sounds like a lovely way to spend your time, listening to music and reading books.
But I miss people contact. I'm a hugger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I miss people.
Of course.
It's great, but I mean,
yeah.
You owe me a hug, don't forget.
When we're allowed to hug again, there'll be a hug, definitely. Phil, what has your involvement with KLS been during the lockdown?
Well, because I was a member of the council, though I don't have a lot to contribute, I just have ideas rather than doing lots of things. Coming to the council meeting and listening, I mean, how this synagogue, how these people, you people, Craig and James and Renee and all, have made this place work. 12 out of 10, 15 out of 10, I mean, it's unbelievable. I know it's giving you some fulfillment and everybody else fulfillment, so it's a two-way trip, obviously, but as a customer, and I treat myself as a customer more as a council member, brilliant. I mean, really, I cannot use any accolade. And watching it develop and how it's changing, and when you have the service and particularly the Torah, when they're reading the Torah, first time ever, I could see it happening. I mean, the first time it happened was when Danny did it. It was actually brilliant.
Yeah, you can actually read the Torah. You're talking about when we...
Yeah, with the Yud going across. Well, from a guy... You see, I only just learned about Judaism in the last few years because, as I say, I was a secular Jew. And it's all coming to light. It's a bit late, but there you go.
It's never too late. And what you're talking about there, Phil, is when we do our live stream services and we actually have the Hebrew on the screen, and we, like you say, we have the little thing going across, so we can actually listen, read along with the rabbi.
Totally acceptable to me.
Yeah. No, that's been great. It's been a real kind of benefit, I guess, of live streaming. Yeah. So what? I mean, you've said a little bit anyway, but what has this involvement meant to you over the last few months?
Everything. I'm sorry, it's such a short answer. Everything.
Short and sweet. Says it all.
Everything.
And so again, we've touched upon it anyway. You've talked about how you sort of grew up primarily as a secular Jew, and you've kind of come to Judaism sort of later in life. But do you think that over the last few months of lockdown, your relationship with your own Judaism has changed at all?
Absolutely. And because of this Facebook Zoomy thing, whatever you call it, I have it on my PC. I've got some pretty good loudspeakers. I'm not always sitting in front of it. I'm wandering around the house or having a cup of tea or even sitting in the lounge when I turn the wick up. And the house is full of the service. Now, that is unique. That is absolutely phenomenal because, I mean, one of the things I miss is not getting dressed and going to shul in the morning. And sometimes it's a curse and bits and pieces. Oh God, I'm going to be late and hurry and rush bits and pieces and rush things. And now I've got to just, come downstairs and have a cup of tea, have my breakfast, and then switch the thing on and the service comes to me. And I really miss not going to shul. But I really gained having the shul come to my home and filling my home. Because I turn the wick up and we've got this cantor, little French chap, the chap.
Are you talking about Rabbi Rene again?
Yeah, and some girl, some teenage girl played the piano and things like that. And the house fills with music and the singing and the prayers. But the house has got it. I can't explain it. All the doors are open in the house. I'm sure some of the neighbours are converting. And it is, I had the wick up and it is the most remarkable experience. I've never had it before. Never could have had it before. Yeah. It's new. It's a bonus. And again, I hate to say it, thank you, the virus, for giving me that.
Well, I mean...
Build my home, our home.
Yeah, that's really powerful. It's really powerful to hear that idea of, like you say, the service coming to you and filling your home. Yeah. I can picture it, and that's really powerful.
Well, you don't get it because you're working.
I'm doing it.
Yeah. But you'll find out the next 2 weekends.
Yes, absolutely.
The other synagogues do it. You'll see that at home.
Absolutely, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to just being able to listen and appreciate.
And we get some proper rabbis this time as well.
Be careful, this is going to go live. Now, just to finish off, Phil, what would you say you've learned over the last few months?
Relation to life or relation to KLS?
Either.
Yeah, they're both the same, really. Same answer. It's people. It's people. I've learned. I always was a people person. I'm genuinely, sadly, I miss people. And going to shul and Shabbat Shalom, shaking hands and having little chats and conversations and of course the thing I miss most was Havara supper. Oh,
the food.
1 month. Brilliant. I mean, if you could put that in a package and sell it, we'd make millions. I tell you, it's absolutely. If anybody's never been to a Havara supper, when it reopens, it is the best experience. Is a little bit of religion stuff, good bit of conversation, a lot of food, a lot of friendship. It is just a wonderful evening. It is the best thing I've ever.
I completely agree. I also miss those. I definitely miss the food, but you know what? Let's hope it's really not too long till we can do that again, so we can be together.
I don't think it'll be till next spring myself.
Well, we'll look whenever it is. We'll look forward to it.
I'll be there.
We'll look forward to it, and it will be the most amazing Havara supper when we are back.
And if I don't make it, because I'm 98 years of age, I want a special one for me.
You are going to be there. And on that note,
love you
we
all.
are going to wrap up. Thank you very much, Phil. Thank you for speaking to us, and stay tuned for lots more interviews where this one came from.
Yeah, you get proper interviews.